Welcome to the Infidel, the news for those of us who have supposedly chosen hell over heaven, the news for the damned. American Catholic bishops are furious. American Catholic bishops are furious over the decision by the Obama administration to require that contraceptives be included in health plans provided by religious affiliated institutions. The president of the US Conference of Catholic Bishops, Timothy Dolan, said to force American citizens to choose between violating their conscience and foregoing their health care is literally unconscionable. It is as much an attack on access to health care as on religious freedom. Some believe religious institution employers might stop providing health coverage for their employees and simply pay the federal fines specified under the healthcare law, thus leaving their workers with no coverage at all. Workers are not required to seek contraceptives, but are covered if they choose to do so. However, the Bishop and Roman Catholic Church officials are threatening healthcare access for their workers under the guise of protecting their religious freedom. Washington hosts an unusual National Prayer Breakfast. Last week, the annual National Prayer Breakfast was held in Washington, D.C. While this event is known for being quite lackluster in its ceremonies, this year's edition was an unusual exception. Typically, the prayer breakfasts entail a long and rather droll succession of speeches and commentaries, all of which are calculated to fit a political agenda. But this year, both President Obama and Speaker Eric Metaxas broke the rules. Obama generously praised multiple religions, religious groups, and religious figures in a manner that was truly not typical. More interestingly, the keynote speaker Metaxas gave a very intriguing speech in which he stated that during and after his becoming a Christian, he realized that Jesus was the enemy of dead religions and that he had come to liberate us from them. He also purported that prayer should come from true faith in God and that a faith in Jesus could also somehow cause courageous acts.
Atheism TV. News, events, community, entertainment, debates, conferences, and more. A massive repository of over 3,000 recent and fascinating atheist videos from all over the internet. Or watch The Infidel, our own regular news show. Visit the shopping area and buy something for that special atheist in your life. Rent captivating shows, movies, and documentaries directly in your browser. Atheism TV, the world's #1 source of atheist videos.
An Egyptian actor may pay for past sins committed on stage and before the movie cameras. Turning our eyes back to Egypt, a concerning sentencing has just been made against the popular actor Adel Imam. Imam was recently sentenced to 3 months in prison on the grounds that he had offended Islam in some of his movies and plays. Having made a habit of poking fun at politicians and authorities throughout his 40-year career, some of the grounds for the accusations were that he offended several symbols of Islam, including beards and the loose-fitting garments called hijabs. Imam has 1 month to appeal before being arrested. Cases such as this one, where artists and intellectuals are arrested for disrespecting Islam, are common in Egypt. However, the ruling is concerning and disconcerting, since Egypt is currently in a state of post-revolution uncertainty, especially since all observers are waiting to see how the new government will deal with non-Muslims and other minorities in its future lawmaking and judicial processes. Though the case has not been ultimately determined yet, it certainly sets a dark tone for what may turn out to be the future of this great country. The Planned Parenthood Foundation faces a rocky future. Billionaire and New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg has recently pledged a $250,000 personal donation to the Planned Parenthood Foundation of America. This pledge was made in response to the Komen Foundation's withdrawal of the $700,000 it was expected to give to the Women's Health Support Organisation. The exact cause of this sudden decision is uncertain. However, Planned Parenthood claims that the Komen Foundation has succumbed to political pressure applied by anti-abortion groups. Meanwhile, the Komen Foundation dismisses this claim as a mischaracterization of its decision. One thing is certain: without the necessary funding, Planned Parenthood's ability to provide mammograms, contraceptives and other health services to low-income women may become dangerously limited. Although the generous contribution by Mayor Bloomberg is more than welcome, it does little to help solve the uncertainty that hovers over Planned Parenthood's future. Meanwhile, the popular politician has stated that political struggles should not interfere with healthcare. He also added that he hoped to help ensure the safety of women whose lives are saved by cancer screening programs. Togetherness envy? Despite all its failures, perhaps one of the most alluring aspects of religion is its community aspect. Even some of the more strongly irreligious individuals have found themselves with some form of envy for the sense of togetherness and companionship that only religion can bring to a community that gathers regularly. Author Alain de Botton has decided to build what he calls an Atheist Temple in the City of London. He says that his temple will serve as a place of worship for non-believers as well as a community centre in much the same way as any religious building does. Once the temple is built, it is to be a well-designed structure standing 46 metres tall, a reminder that the Earth has existed for 4.6 billion years. Though it is still undetermined as to when the temple's construction will be completed, let alone started, de Botton is confident of its success. He also hopes to eventually spread similar establishments throughout the UK. Meanwhile, some Christians are already having visions of atheists praying to Satan inside the new building. That's all the news for today. Come back to us on Monday for more news for the damned.